Hello guys, good morning. Today we are going to study another important topic, that is water resource dynamics in India. In other words, we are going to study water governance. Okay, governance in India. And in this discussion, especially we are going to focus on रूरल एरियाज। ओके, सो ये इस डिस्कशन में हम रूरल एरियाज में काफ़ी ज़्यादा फोकस करने जा रहे हैं और हम लर्न करेंगे रूरल एरियाज में कैसा वाटर गवर्नेंस है। ओके, so this is a very, very important topic. You know very well, water is always a very important topic with respect to UPSC. UPSC. When you are preparing for UPSC, इनमें वाटर रिलेटेड टॉपिक्स ऑलवेज काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट रहा है। ओके, सो इस चीज़ को ध्यान में रखते हुए हमको इस टॉपिक को अच्छे से समझना है, अच्छे से जानना है। ओके, so without wasting much time, we will go into the discussion. See, first we will try and understand the water scenario in our country. मतलब status of water in our country. Okay, status of water के बारे में जानेंगे. Okay, so annual average precipitation in our country is 3,880 BCM. BCM is billion cubic meter. This is how we will measure the water, quantity. BCM में हम वाटर क्वांटिटी का मेजर करते हैं। ओके, तो average annual rainfall in our country is 3,880 BCM. Roughly, it's close to 4,000 BCM. You can remember like that. Okay, but नेट वाटर अवेलेबिलिटी और इसमें से कितना हम एक्चुअली यूज कर पा रहे हैं, 1999.2 BCM. Okay, means close to 2000. Roughly you can say it is 2000. हम roughly इसको बोल सकते हैं 2000 BCM. This is net water availability. और बाकी वाटर कहाँ जा रहा है? It's going waste. Okay, वो waste जा रहा है. Okay, this is the water scenario. If you see it, roughly 50% of the average annual rainfall we are receiving, it's going waste. Almost half of the rainfall water is going waste. Means it's not useful for us. Okay, we are not in a position to use it. Okay, you see it is if you see the details, overall availability of water is primarily dictated by what? It is primarily dictated by geological and geographic factors. Okay, मीन्स कितना रेनफॉल हो रहा है और देश के किन पार्ट्स में ये रेनफॉल हो रहा है. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स विल डिसाइड द अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ वाटर. Okay, there is a per capita deficit in our country, though still it is significant. The quantity is significant. Per capita अगर देखते हैं तो still it is a shortage. Why? आबादी बहुत ज़्यादा है. The population in our country is very high. We will come to that. Okay. So India has 17.5% of the total global population. You know it very well. Then 11.6% of the livestock, cattle. Okay, 11.6% of the cattle is there in our country. But when it comes to rain or water, we have very less. If I'm not wrong, only we have just roughly 4% of the water availability that is there on the globe or in the वर्ल्ड. ओके, सो सिर्फ 4% वाटर से हमको इतना पॉपुलेशन और इतना कैटल को सपोर्ट करना है. दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम. ओके, राइट. सो द प्रॉब्लम इज वाटर सप्लाई इज फिक्स्ड वेयर एज पॉपुलेशन साइज इज इंक्रीजिंग. कैटल का नहीं इतना ज्यादा नहीं बढ़ रहा है, बट पॉपुलेशन human population is increasing, so we have to support the increasing population with the fixed और स्टैग्नेटेड वाटर सप्लाई. इसकी वजह से पर कैपिटा अवेलेबिलिटी रिड्यूस हो जा रहा है एवरी डे. ओके, so there has to be a change in the way we are managing the water. You see, the problem is uh, the problem is not non-availability of water. We are receiving roughly close to 4,000 BCM. If you can properly manage it, it's more than sufficient for us. Okay, but what is the problem? almost 50% of it is being lost. Several reasons are there, काफी ज़्यादा reasons है, हम देखेंगे ये reasons. Runoff, okay, water just draining into rivers and going and settling in the oceans. Uh, you know, uh, in this way, in several ways, we are losing the water. हम देखेंगे वो reasons क्या है. Okay, so if you see, India is transitioning from an infrastructure-heavy, supply-driven framework to a localized demand-side management strategy. ये काफी ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. अभी तक हम फोकस कर रहे थे कैसे सप्लाई वाटर सप्लाई को इंक्रीज करना etc. But often of late we have realized that water का supply काफी है, but where is the problem? We are wasting the water. We are not efficiently utilizing the water. So इसकी वजह से now we are focusing on water management and not looking for more and more water supply. Okay, right. So if you see the total water usage in our country, especially in rural areas, जितना भी वाटर अवेलेबल है उसमें 80 to 90%, ओके, 80 से 90% तक एग्रीकल्चर में यूज किया जाता है. ओके, सो रूरल एग्रीकल्चर अकाउंट्स फॉर 80 to 90% ऑफ द लोकलाइज्ड वाटर कंजम्पशन. ओके, विच इज ऑल्सो एक्सेलरेटिंग द ग्राउंड वाटर डिप्लीशन. सो इसकी वजह से क्या हो रहा है, ग्राउंड वाटर डिप्लीशन भी हो रहा है. वाई? बिकॉज nowadays the more popular mode of irrigation is ट्यूबवेल्स. ट्यूबवेल्स काफी ज्यादा पॉपुलर हो गया. सो एवरीबडी इज डिगिंग ए ट्यूबवेल, एक्सट्रैक्टिंग द वाटर, इरिगेटिंग द क्रॉप्स और इरिगेटिंग द फील्ड्स. इसकी वजह से बट ग्राउंड वाटर रिचार्ज नहीं हो रहा है, इसकी वजह से ग्राउंड वाटर डिप्लीशन हो रहा है. ओके, so what we have to do, we have to integrate the micro level water budgeting. वाटर बजटिंग क्या है हम नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में पढ़ेंगे. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ वाटर बजट वी आर गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड इन द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. ओके, देन we have to integrate the vulnerable agrarian communities also. Okay, this can dynamically adjust the cropping patterns, or along with that we have to dynamically adjust the cropping patterns and balance groundwater supply against regional needs. Okay, so what is the meaning of dynamically adjusting cropping patterns? Means we have to see the agro-climatological conditions also. Means which climatological region can support which type of crop. Unfortunately, the cropping pattern we are we are following is very not suitable agro-climatologically. Just let me give you two examples. You take Punjab, Haryana, and Western UP region. This is the region, which receives the less or least rainfall, comparatively least rainfall in our country. But यहाँ पे क्या उगाया जाता है? Paddy. Okay, चावलम उगाता है. So you know very well, paddy is the most water guzzling crop. 1 किलो पैडी प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए अप्रोक्सीमेटली 5,000 liters of water is required. Okay, so wrong. Climatologically it is a wrong crop in that region. Second example is you take Maharashtra. Okay, this Marathwada Vidarbha region, which is also another water scarce region, and here sugarcane is grown. You know very well, after paddy, sugarcane is the second most water guzzling crop in our country. But unfortunately, in another water scarce region, this second most water consuming crop is grown. Okay, these are the examples for cropping patterns are not in our country. How cropping patterns are not suitable for agro-climatological regions. Okay, all these things have to be addressed. Okay, so what we have done to address this problem of water, or to properly manage the water, what we have done, the government of India has first of all brought in several schemes. Then the government itself led the action, and in that process it has utilized the data driven technology. Okay, so several important schemes like Atal Bhujal Yojana, National Water Mission have been initiated by the government of India. So ये water problem को address करने के लिए अटल भूजल योजना which is for recharging the groundwater, ये भी शुरू किया गया है, और नेशनल वाटर मिशन, ये मिशन भी शुरू किया गया है. ओके. एंड इसमें लोकल लेवल मॉनिटरिंग और इन्वॉल्विंग द लोकल पीपल, ओके, मेकिंग द लोकल पीपल पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ दी स्कीम्स was one of the important components. Okay, लोकल पीपल को शामिल करना, ये काफी emphasize किया गया है. Okay, then the schemes also pioneered participatory models in water stressed states like Maharashtra and Rajasthan. Some case studies are also there in Maharashtra. The best example is Hiware Bazar. I think you might have heard about it. From where the famous personality Anna Hazare comes. He focused on watershed management. And in Rajasthan also, where people have been made part and parcel of this process, saving the water or improving the water governance. These examples demonstrate that decentralized water budgeting improves community climate resilience. Okay. You see, water budgeting is nothing but water budgeting. What is water budgeting? We will have a table and we will see where water, first we will see where water supply is there. Okay. So rainfall, groundwater, etc., etc. Okay. If any other source is there, that one. Then where demand is there. Okay. So for agriculture, for domestic purpose, for industries. Okay. Some water will go through evapotranspiration. So that will become ecological requirement. Okay. So this is where water demand. Maybe for cattle also. Okay. This is where water demand. So if you draw a table and measure how much supply is there and how much demand is there, you measure them. That is nothing. That is what is water budget. So जब आप ऐसा calculate करते हैं, this is nothing but यही water budget है. Okay, right. In doing all these things, like I have told, government has adopted a data-driven approach and tech-based approach. Okay, so for that reason, interactive planning utilities like Varuni Web Application or Web App has been developed. Very, very important app. We are going to study about this Varuni app also, and Atal Bhujal Yojana also we are going to study. Okay, you see, this application empowers local communities with the spatial analytics to scientifically map availability and agricultural crop plants. So, in this context, Varuni app becomes very, very important. Okay, right. We will move forward. This is what I was waiting for, the water budgeting. Okay, so we will understand what is water budgeting. You see, water budgeting aligns water supply with the demand. It's nothing but you will measure the supply and you will measure the demand. That is what is water budgeting. Okay, why you have to do it? You have to do it for promoting the sustainable use of water at a local levels and also regional levels. Okay, significance of the water budget, if you see, it monitors all the sources and consumption. Sources from where the supply comes. Okay, and consumption, it's nothing but a demand. Okay, and this offers insights for efficient surface and groundwater management. You see, predominantly you can divide the sources into two. First is surface water source like rainfall, water that is there in rivers, lakes, small tanks, etc. And second source is groundwater, in the water that is stored in aquifers, underground aquifers. Okay. You see, it is also useful for supporting the evidence-based decisions. It ensures equitable and efficient allocation across various demand points like agriculture, household, and industry. Okay, so predominantly from this is where the demand is coming. यहाँ पे ज़्यादातर demand आ रहा है पानी के लिए. Okay, so all these things can be I'm sorry, properly managed by using the water budget. Okay, right. You see, if you see the science of budgeting, you ignore this one. Okay. You see, it functions, water budgeting functions as an environmental balance sheet. You see, every corporate entity or every banking entity will have a balance sheet. Water budget also functions as an environmental or ecological water balance sheet. Okay. Water budget measures how physical supplies systematically equate to environmental outputs and reserves. Okay. You see how it is measured, water budget is measured. It calculates the inputs like a localized rainfall data, surface water inflows, and a systematic groundwater recharge rates. Okay, these are all measured in supply or input. Then it also tracks the losses. Okay, it measures the output stressors. Some factors are creating stress on the water availability. Okay, like evapotranspiration. What is evapotranspiration? Evaporation, directly water is being evaporated because of the sunlight. What is evapotranspiration? Several trees, plants, even crops, they absorb water through the roots, and some of the water is, being uh, left into the atmosphere or into the air through the leaves. Okay, spores will be there in the leaves of the plants, and from there ट्रांसपिरेशन विल हैपन ट्रांसपिरेशन ऑफ द वाटर विल हैपन ओके इसको हम बोलते हैं इवापो ट्रांसपिरेशन ओके एंड apart from that surface water runoff is there just water just like that will run off and enters into the ocean then human beings are extracting the water or they are also involving in discharge of the water ये सारे चीजें which will result in loss of the water ये सारे चीजें water loss में contribute करते हैं all these things will be measured in water budget okay you see uh, beyond this basic accounting of water a comprehensive water budget maps with the complex physical and human variables will also be measured. How that will be done? System interactions will be taken into consideration. Then seasonal fluctuations will also be considered. Then human imprint will also be measured. Okay, this is the complex level of measuring the water. I think at the UPSC level, you need not worry about all these things. Okay. ये research और academic when you are reading it from the pure academic perspective, maybe these things you require. Maybe जब आप academic perspective में पढ़ते हैं ये सारी चीज़ें मे भी आपको जानने के लिए ज़रूरत है वैसे UPSC from the point of UPSC ये पढ़ने के लिए ज़रूरत नहीं है okay right so if you see how we can balance this water ledger or balance the sheet we will see the demand we will see the supply. So of course in this image ये image में आप देख सकते हैं demand supply से ज़्यादा है okay that's why this balance is okay you know tilted towards the demand ये reality है हमारे country के बारे में okay supply से demand ज़्यादा है okay right then we will see something about planning, scale specific planning. You see, water budgeting is highly flexible and scalable. Scalable means what? Scalable मतलब क्या है? हम इसको काफी बड़े बड़े लेवल पे भी और ज्यादा व्हाट शुड आई से बड़े लेवल पे भी कर सकते हैं वी कैन एक्सपैंड इट टू अदर लेवल्स पूरा कंट्री का भी वाटर बजट बना सकते हैं ओके so that is the meaning of scalability okay then further by assessing the hydrology across custom geographic boundaries मतलब हम very well our country is a vast country हमारा country काफी बड़ा है okay we have different regions and sub regions geography काफी ज्यादा differ करता है from one place to another place okay so by measuring hydrology means something related to water and in across custom geographic boundaries planners can develop hyper localized action plans okay so ये सारे चीजें measure करके जो planners है पानी का वाटर का प्लान करते हैं, they can develop hyper localized action plans. Okay, so first if you see at micro scale, this is applied at the farm or village level to directly govern daily domestic and cropping choices. ये micro scale level पे होता है. This will happen at either at farm or village level. आगे बढ़ते हैं, देन वी विल सी मैक्रो स्केल. मैक्रो स्केल पे क्या होता है? इट विल बी स्केल्ड अक्रॉस वाटरशेड्स, रिवर बेसिन्स और डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स टू रेगुलेट लॉन्ग टर्म पॉलिसी स्ट्रक्चर्स. मैं बिलीव करता हूँ आपको पता होगा वाटरशेड क्या है. वाटरशेड इज a region or a place where water in that region, all the water is collected at one place. Okay, so let's imagine this is a geographical region and जो भी rainfall इधर हो रहा है, all that water is being collected at this point. So ये पूरा region को हम बोलते हैं watershed. Okay. So similarly, river basin is also almost similar to watershed. Okay, so macro scale वाटर बजटिंग होता है इस लेवल पे, वाटरशेड पे या रिवर बेसिन पे और पूरा डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे ये होता है. देन वी कैन कस्टमाइज इट. You see this, it tailors planning precisely to areas facing groundwater depletion, dry periods or extreme floods. So इसको customize water budget को हम customize भी कर सकते हैं to suit, precisely two areas where the areas which are facing the groundwater depletion and the regions which are facing the dry periods and also the regions which are facing the floods. Or the water budgeting will be done based on scientific data. Okay, so and it replaces baseline estimations with the context-driven data to ensure water resilience. Okay, कहने का मतलब है it's a purely scientific based exercise, science based exercise. Okay, all right. Then if you see governance and allocation, it replaces guesswork with empirical data. Water budgeting identifies regional surplus and deficit areas, helping local communities make confident democratic decisions. Then equitable splits will be there, so that each and every sector like agriculture, domestic, livestock, and industrial regions are provided sufficient amount of water. And in this way, we can mitigate the conflict also. So, our country is gradually entering into a water deficit country, if not water, distress country. Okay. So, in that, already conflicts are there, especially between the states for sharing the river waters, etc. And there is also competition across the segments like agriculture, industry, domestic use, etc. If we can properly manage the water by utilizing the concept of water budgeting, we can mitigate these conflicts also. Okay. Right. Then there are some estimations with respect to 2050. What will be the demand of agriculture sector or irrigation in our country? So projected irrigation demand by 2050 is 807 BCM, billion cubic meter. Okay. You see the National Commission on Integrated Water Resources Development. It projected a high baseline strain on regional sources, reinforcing the need for proactive alignment. Okay. So what is that alignment required? First, it is required in agriculture. You see, crop selection planning matches agricultural practices directly to seasonal groundwater and runoff forecast. Means to these realities, okay, that is seasonal groundwater availability and runoff. According to this, we have to change our crops. Okay, we have to change our crops. Okay. Then we have to optimize the sowing cycles. Okay, seed sowing cycles. Okay, you see, scheduling irrigation and sowing dates scientifically that can lower systematic dry spell vulnerability. You see, some of the seed sowing happens early June only. maybe by that time monsoon might not arrive. Then what will happen? Then lot of stress will be there on the groundwater. Why? Farmers will start extracting the water from groundwater. So if we can scientifically adjust the sowing dates, we can reduce the stress on the water. Then if you see one study, NABARD practically NABARD shown that participatory water budgeting models that are supported by this body NABARD, they prove that water aligned farming selection increases productivity while containing climate exposure. So there is evidence also, if we make uh, appropriate choices based on the data, realistic data, we can actually reduce the exposure to climate change, and we can increase the we can increase the productivity also, right? Then of late there is increase in demand from livestock also. Okay. Total livestock in our country is 53.6%. Okay. Uh, Then there is a significant national surge driving localized dairy water demand. You see, cows in this total cattle, the increase of cows is 18%. Why this is happening? Now dairy farming is being increasingly taken up by more and more people. That's the reason the dairy farming or cows, population is increasing, and that is significantly increasing the water demand. Okay. So there is clearly demand surge is there from the livestock segment also. This also we have to keep in mind. Okay. Then, then if you see the concept of unified rural water allocation, a holistic budgeting strategy, it accounts for allied rural livelihoods to secure local water rights and long-term rural stability. Okay. You see factors, precise sectoral consumption norms for cattle, small ruminants. Small ruminants are ये क्या है? Bakri, goat, sheep, etc. These are small ruminants, and fisheries directly into water budget ledger. ये सारे चीज़ों को हमको अकाउंट में लेना है. Okay. Then we have to integrate all these things. We have to incorporate requirements for livestock and aquaculture. Aquaculture क्या है? Fish, growing and harvesting fish. Okay. Then ensuring no sector is starved of essential supply. इसकी वजह से क्या होगा? कोई भी सेक्टर will not be deprived of water. Okay. Uh, then it will also result in establishing or realizing sustainable livelihoods. Okay. This will support highly diversified rural income sources to maintain resilience against monsoon delays. Okay. So ये सारे benefits हमें मिलेंगे. Okay. Right. Moving beyond, we will see what is Atal Bhujal Yojana. You see, 229 ब्लॉक्स को पहले हम लिए थे अटल भूजल योजना के अंदर. उसमें 180 ब्लॉक्स, ओके, 180 ब्लॉक्स काफ़ी अच्छे रिजल्ट्स दिए थे. ओके. और इस स्कीम के अंदर 81,700 स्ट्रक्चर्स क्रिएट किया गया है. ओके. These many structures have been registered under Atal Bhujal Yojana. Okay. Then if you see implementation footprint, okay. The scheme has been piloted under 229 blocks. पहले भी मैंने बताया था. In 7 ग्राउंड वाटर स्ट्रेस्ड स्टेट्स, 7 ग्राउंड वाटर स्ट्रेस्ड स्टेट्स में इस स्कीम को लागू किया गया था. ओके. एंड these states have been selected, or blocks have been selected based on depletion levels and institutional readiness. ग्राम पंचायत सिलेक्शन, ग्राम पंचायत कैसे सेलेक्ट किया गया है? So respective state governments finalized gram panchayats to secure deep grassroots ownership and execution. Okay. Then progress is tangible, means we can see it is there on the ground. It is there on the ground. Okay. So the dynamic assessments, if you see in 23 to 24 and 24 to 20 year 23, 24 and 24, 25, that validated measurable improvements in vast majority of targeted efforts. मैंने बोला है पहले ही, uh, 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 around in around 180 blocks काफी अच्छा results पाया गया है under this scheme. Okay. Some of the data is provided state by state. Okay, these are the 7 states where Atal Bhujal Yojana has been implemented, and this is the number of gram panchayats uh, which have prepared the water budgeting. In total, in our country, 8,203 gram panchayats have prepared water budgets. Okay. Then, if you see some more achievements, 1.25 lakh training programs have been conducted under this scheme. Then 9 lakh hectares actively promoted under micro water guidelines. Okay. These are the very, very important developments. Okay. You see under this scheme, इस स्कीम के अंदर ट्रेडिशनल माइक्रो स्ट्रक्चर जो होते हैं, मतलब जो रहा है पहले से, लाइक गोकट्टे, बावड़ी, जोहाड़, टनका, कल्याणी एंड डिग्गी, ये सारे ट्रेडिशनल वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर्स रिवाइव किया गया है. ओके. They have been customized for local terrains. Okay. Then actionable practices. You see, uh, promoters. This scheme promoted a rapid field adoption of precision drip and sprinkler systems. ये modern micro irrigation systems है. Drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation system. Also, they have also promoted things like mulching and strategic crop selection. Mulching क्या है? Covering the top soil with some organic material so that we can reduce the evaporation of water or loss of soil moisture. इसको हम mulching कहते हैं. सारे practices have been ये सारे practices adopt किया गया है. फार्मर्स ने सारे चीजें फार्मर्स ने अडॉप्ट किया है. Then we will come to another important segment, that is Varuni Web Application. पहले भी मैंने बताया था, ये important app has been developed. Okay. So क्या क्या है, क्या क्या important चीज़ें चीज़ें हैं इस application में. This application integrates data integration is there. Varuni processing engine is there. Varuni processing engine इसमें incorporated है. It is an automated scientific computation built-in analytical. It has built-in analytical framework. Then इसके बाद वाटर बजट जनरेशन है. इसमें क्या होता है, सप्लाई वर्सेस डिमांड असेसमेंट किया जाता है. देन आफ्टर दैट इनसाइट्स एंड क्लासिफिकेशन इज देयर. Then fifth step in this app is actionable interventions. Actionable interventions prepare किया जाएगा, like water conservation, efficient irrigation practices, groundwater recharge, etc., etc. Then finally, sixth step is planning and review. Uh, the app enables data driven decision making. ये सारे important features है ये वरुणी वेब ऐप का. ओके. आप ट्राई टू रिमेम्बर देम, याद रखने के लिए कोशिश कीजिए, क्योंकि ये प्रीलिम्स में ऑप्शन जैसे आ सकते हैं. ओके. देयर इज a chance that these things can be asked as options in prelims. Okay. You see, if you see the architecture of the Varuni app, it is developed under the Indo-German bilateral project. Okay, WASSCA. Okay. Um, in key cooperation with the Niti Aayog, Ministry of Jal Shakti and the Ministry of Rural Development. ये सारे organizations हमारे country से शामिल है. Or another important feature of this app is automatic feeds. Automatic feeds are there. App integrates the data streams automatically from authoritative state and federal portals. जो भी state और national level portals हैं, वहाँ से directly और automatically ये app data लेता है. Okay. Then it will also conduct hydrological audits. Okay. This app will apply empirical, okay, standards like strange runoff tables and ingress groundwater index to model and close block water ledgers. Okay, this is the architecture of the application. Then after that, Varuni maps block level diagnostics through a systematic water balance equation, comparing the net supply inputs with the demand outputs. Okay. Then there are four key sectors are there. Okay. Uh, Humans, livestock, agriculture industry. Then supply inventory is also there. This accounts for seasonal runoff, existing surface reservoirs, aquifers, and regional transfers. Okay. Then supply and deficit models are also there. Agroclimatic baseline is also measured in this Varuni app. Okay. Then automatic local interventions will also be suggested by this app. By executing complex computations and an automated server framework, Varuni minimizes manual error and empowers a decentralized authorities. Okay, ये भी एक important फीचर है वरनी आपका. ट्राई टू रिमेंबर इट. याद रखने के लिए कोशिश कीजिए. ओके. देन देर इज वन strategic integration. I'm sorry. Strategic integration model is there. You see, this app helps in transitioning from fragmented systems. पहले पूरा fragmented systems थे, मतलब कोई भी connection नहीं. Now the app transforms the system into integrated, data-driven frameworks, and which is essential for climate resilient water security. Okay. So ये ऐप क्या करता है, एक fragmented system को integrated system बना देता है, and that system is also data driven, and which will help us in uh, you know uh, realizing the goal of water resilient climate resilient water security. Okay. Right. Finally, if you see the framework for collective action, what is way forward? हमको क्या करना चाहिए आने वाले फ्यूचर में? First, we have to institutionalize. What we have to institutionalize? Integrate scientific water budgeting across all planning tiers. कहाँ से ये शुरू होता है? ये शुरू होता है ग्राम पंचायत से up to basin structures to प्रोटेक्ट लॉन्ग टर्म एग्रीकल्चरल सस्टेनेबिलिटी. ये ग्राम पंचायत से लेके बेसिन तक वी हैव टू इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज द वाटर बजटिंग. फिर हमको टूल्स को इम्पोर्टेंट और जो भी टूल्स अवेलेबल है, वी हैव टू लिवरेज देम, वी हैव टू यूटिलाइज देम. Okay, we have to employ the automated cloud-based portals such as the Varuni Web App, okay, to feed diagnostic real-time data back into community-led agricultural crop loss. Okay, so we have to use the technology. Then what is the third takeaway point? Policy confluence. You see, we have to coordinate policies between the groundwater preservation and agricultural markets. Okay, कहीं ना कहीं हमको balance लाना है इन दोनों चीजों में. Okay, in this way we have to establish a shared platform for resilient growth and economic equity. Okay, so this is what we have to learn in this topic, water governance in rural India. Okay, so पहले मैंने डिस्कस किया था स्टेटस ऑफ वाटर इन आवर कंट्री, एंड उसके बाद मैंने डिस्कस किया था वाटर बजटिंग, द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ वाटर बजटिंग. फिर हमने डिस्कस किया था वन इम्पॉर्टेंट स्कीम दैट इज अटल भूजल योजना. फिर उसके बाद मैंने डिस्कस करा था वारुणी ऐप के बारे में. यू सी, ऑल दीज आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स. ये सारे काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें हैं. प्लीज ट्राई टू रिमेंबर देम. You see, the source for my discussion is PIB, प्रेस इंफॉर्मेशन ब्यूरो में एक डॉक्यूमेंट अपलोड किया गया था अंडर द टॉपिक ऑफ backgrounders. The title of the document is Water Governance in Rural India. Okay, ये काफ़ी important document है. Okay, अभी 2026 का पेपर आपने देखा होगा. आई थिंक यू माइट हैव सीन द 2026 प्रीलिम्स पेपर. उसमें almost 30 to 35%, 35 questions, prelims question. The source is directly in the PIB, Press Information Bureau. Maybe it is press releases, maybe it is the other documents produced by the PIB. That's why for quite some time I was focusing on PIB. PIB पे मैं काफी ज्यादा focus कर रहा था. I somehow or the other I tried to bring in information that is there in PIB to you. Okay. Earlier I directly presented these documents. वो थोड़ा सा monotonous हो रहा था. So that's why I have shifted to PPT. But you make sure that you read this original document. किसी डायरेक्टली डॉक्यूमेंट को रीड करना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हो जाता है. इसलिए मैं पहले वीडियो बना रहा हूँ. पहले आप वीडियो को देखिए, थोड़ा सा आधा आसान हो जाएगा. यू विल गेट सम थिंग्स, देन यू रीड द डॉक्यूमेंट. बाद में आप डॉक्यूमेंट पढ़िए, आसान हो जाएगा. यू कैन रिमेंबर द थिंग्स. और सिक्योर कीजिए डॉक्यूमेंट को, इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स को हाईलाइट कीजिए, देन यू कैन रिवाइज इट इजीली. ओके. सो मेरा पूरा कोशिश यही है कि कैसे भी करके आप लोगों को, माई गोल इज टू मेक यू रीड द PIB documents. As an aspirant also, I ignored many of the documents that have been uploaded in the PIB, but seeing all these trends of exam, now I think it has become very much essential that you have to definitely read the PIB documents. Okay. So my effort also will be to somehow or the other present the documents to you and encourage you to read this original PIB document. Okay. Um, right. So anyway, this is it for today. You go through the document, make sure that you read the document. And in other session, I'll come up with some other topic. Okay. So have a good time. See you next time. And until then, have a very good